Me? I'd bite.
Mr. Turtle, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
I never made it without biting. Ask Mr. Owl, for he is the wisest of us all.
Mr. Owl, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
A good question. Let's find out. 1, 2, 3. 3.
If there's anything I can't stand, it's a smart owl.
How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
People don't think it's too much. They make the rules. Ignorance and pretty in this golden world. What if you don't have an answer to every question?
Hello, welcome to another episode of the Custom Underground. This happens to be a special one because it is the Even 10, episode 10, season 2. 10. We are here to judge. Just quickly, I want to give a thank you to all of our contestants. I know sometimes it is hard. It is an emotional tournament because of all the talent that we have. But we thank you for competing each week. And remember, even the Hall of Famer, Biondo, Custom Underground Hall of Famer Biondo, got knocked out in the first round last season by Rock Jabroni, who went on to win the whole thing. So things happen. You can't always control it. Use it as motivation instead of letting it eat at you. Stay tuned for the whole episode. We have the contest results and breaking news to end. So let's get to it.
Let's get to it. Showstopper is here.
Showstopper. I am the real chosen one.
Yeah, that was going to say. I was like, Showstopper's here with us again. We hope that this judging round is very insightful. This was super hard. I'm not trying to speak for everyone, but I think this was probably the hardest round we've ever had to judge. As a collective, it was very, very tough.
It's because the best round.
Yeah, all of you guys brought great entries, man. It was insane. I was super impressed. Yeah, so let's roll through it. We're gonna go in the order of Bubble Squeak and kind of downward left to right. So you guys at home or listening to this is the order that we're gonna be in. We're going to describe the customs first a little bit and kind of set that up. It is shorter. Like each episode, as each round goes on, we like to give a little bit more and more detail because there's less entries to go over. And we'd like to really, at this point, it's really splitting hairs. So, yeah, we got Bubble and Squeak. And Bubble Squeak, what a badass figure last round. He had the Rey Mysterio that was like the Phantom. That probably could have technically qualified for this round, and I think that's probably, it's a hard standard to meet to have to beat yourself. But he did a Stone Cold Steve Austin meets Deathstroke. And I thought it was a pretty cool, pretty cool concept, but what I really liked was the colors. To me, Bubble and Squeak is one of the best painters in the game, and certainly in this competition. The way he kind of goes at it with that dark blue, shooting it through the airbrush, and then that orange, the way he really makes it pop. Those are some tough colors, and he had an amazing paint job, as always. I wasn't surprised there. What do you guys think?
Absolutely. I wasn't surprised at all. I thought the cans instead of the grenades was a really nice touch. That's always the little things to do. That was implementing the Stone Cold aspect of it. I thought he did a good job just melding the characters together in general, and it was a great figure. I gave it 9s all the way down.
Wow.
45.
Wow. Showstopper?
Okay, for me, I really like this entry by Bubble and Squeak. Really clean. Let me just say, before we get into more details on this matchup, this whole round, let me just say how much I enjoyed it. For everyone, overall presentation and workmanship, for everyone, I gave all of them 10s.
Wow.
So all of them 10s.
That's amazing.
So,
this is my favorite round so far in the whole entire tournament.
Yeah. This
That was
is
a mission
the
too, of this round was to really push them, and they rose to the challenge, and I couldn't be more appreciative of all of you guys stepping out of your comfort zones, because you guys got me wanting to make one too. So, go ahead, Showstopper. Sorry.
I agree. No. It's okay. Yeah, I just want to say that all the entries were mind blowing. So I really loved them.
I'm sorry we
Go-
didn't do this last season because I can only think of what a Dog Crack, a Rocket Jabroni, a Lonely Bone Dust, any of those guys might have come up with. It's just amazing. I wish we would have done the last round, or last tournament, last season. But yeah,
doesn't take away to what these guys produced this round. They
Yeah.
were awesome.
Yeah.
So going back to Bubble and Squeak, like I said, presentation and workmanship both 10s, as well as painting and originality both 10s. The only one I scored a 9 would be for complexity, because although painting is really tough to do cleanly, overall I felt that this is well, I wouldn't say easy, but it's quite not too complex. I don't know how
Yeah,
to say
simple
it.
in design, I think. I think something could be simple but very difficult. But I think this is one of those, it's a simplicity.
I don't mean it in a way that where it's easy to do.
Right, yeah.
No, you know what I mean?
Right.
Up on those gloves and those boots, even that eye patch and the accessory that he made. I really like this figure.
Yeah, he's super clean.
Super clean. Lines, the yellow lines. Well, again, orange is a tough color to work with also. So I really like this. Even the actual concept I really like. That stroke, I wouldn't have thought of Stone Cold, using Stone Cold as the head for him. But it kind of works. I really liked it.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
true.
It came together really nicely.
It does really work.
Yeah.
I mean, Stone Cold works well.
Yeah. It's a really nice interpretation of the comic book character.
Melded together.
Yep.
What did you give him, Mad Reaper?
So that would be a total of 49.
49, wow. Yeah, so I want to preface all of my scoring and judging on the fact that I know my colleagues were a little closer knit in terms of the score spread, but I think I may appear a little more harsh because I did give out a lot of 8s, and that's not to say any other round I think it would be so much more like a 9, 10, and it's really, really nitpicky this whole round. So I want you guys to know that a 45 is relative to the round, not so much the entire tournament. A 45 one round isn't necessarily going to be the exact same as a 45, I think, the other round. So trying to kind of have a grading curve, so to speak. So that being said, Bubble and Squeak, I really like the figure. I'm a Batman fan, so that stroke was kind of cool for me. The overall presentation, I gave it a 9, just because to me, I loved the beer cans, I loved the chrome, I loved the graphics, the sculpting, it was so perfect, the colors, the pictures, everything. But to me, it really felt like it was missing something. It felt like a figure that came with armor, and we lost an armor piece, And so, to me, it's not taking anything from the idea of it, but to me it felt like I liked the belt, but then I would have wanted to see maybe some shoulders, or something with the Warlock shoulder pad, or kind of making him in line with the gauntlets, because he had arm gauntlets and then he had boot gauntlets, and it kind of set up something for the chest area. And to me, that's where the chest mask area, the head area was lacking something. So to me, the presentation was a little off for me. Painting skills, 10 out of 10. Bubble and Squeak, you are an amazing painter. Super crisp, super clean. Yeah, 10 out of 10. Likeness and originality. To me, this is another thing. Stone Cold, it was perfect for Stone Cold. I think it works as a version, but for me, that likeness As terms of it's a weird category to judge likeness given the theme, but for me the likeness is like the
That's a very good point.
how well he fits into that character. Like if I can kind of see the wrestler and the character collide more than anything, it's different. Either way, great head sculpt, but to me I gave it 8. I gave it 8 for the head scan and likeness because I wish there was a little more something again. Like whether it's like something around the neck, maybe a mercenary scarf, a bandana, or like a hair. Like maybe a different wrestler's hair might have added that kind of balance to the overall composition of the figure. I don't want to sound too artsy, and please think I'm a douche if it sounds like it, but I'm just trying to explain it the best way I can. And then complexity, same thing Showstopper said. Yeah, Showstopper, I agree with complexity. I had an 8, but really it's all in the same because it is such a perfect figure, and the figure as a whole is amazing. Workmanship, 10. I thought it was perfect. The way you use Super Sculpey is such a master of that medium, and you really rock with it, man. So, great work. That's what I got to say for that one.
What was your total score?
45 out of 50.
All right, on to the NWF. What do you have for us, Showstopper?
Have you scored your? Have you told your score?
Yep,
Pat?
all 9s, straight down.
Oh, all right. Okay.
45.
Okay, going on to NWF Gambit. So this one, another awesome entry. To everyone watching, I was telling Pat and Mad Reaper that I wanted to quit judging because all the entries were good.
How come he gets to be Mad Reaper and I don't get to be the real chosen one?
There's a couple people. Because there's only one Mad Reaper. That's fine.
Well, that's true. But yeah, going back to the entry itself, another solid entry. Painting skills were really up there. Again, like I said, I scored presentation and workmanship, both 10s. Painting skills, obviously, I gave a 10. Originality, I gave a 10. And complexity, I gave a 9. Only reason for that would have been because I believe those parts, the sleeves, the jacket, as well as the boots, they are readily made parts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of took away just a point for those detail. But everything else, the sculpt of the hair, the face, I don't know what that is, a mask, if that's what we call it. And then those details on the chest and the belt area for Gambit's attire.
Oh, you mean the cowl? The thing that goes around the back of the
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it, the cowl. So yeah, pretty clean. The chest color, I'm not sure if it's a bit dark, but that really didn't matter to me. As a whole, another solid 49. So that means I have both Bubble and NWF tied at 49.
Oh, wow.
What say you, Mad Reaper?
I can't put one over the other on this one.
All right, I'm going to. I was trying to say that in southern United States.
You can't walk and chew gum, can you?
Here we go. I'm going to share the screen here, and you guys can see. Hopefully, right?
Oh, there we go. That's really nice.
Is the Instagram showing up? Because I figured that might be the best way to do it. Okay.
Yeah, I see both figures right there.
Awesome.
Side by side.
Awesome. So, yeah, I'll go through here real quick. How do I? Okay, there we go. Boom. So that is Bubble and Squeak's amazing figure there. Look at how good that blue is. That orange just pops. What a clean paint job. Great accessories. I love that.
about something lacking on Bubble and Squeak's Deathstroke. I only realized it while you were saying it, but then again, it doesn't detract from my original scoring. It does kind of need maybe, I don't know, a rifle,
Yeah.
on his back or something with a strap across his chest or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and it's still a beautiful figure. It's a flawless
Yes, it is.
figure.
It is.
And it truly, I mean that in the best way. It's a flawless figure. These are just very nitpicky things and very splitting hairs that
Yeah.
are our degree of percentages, already in the A+ category. So the NWF here did this Gambit, Finn Balor. I really like the colors. I kind of thought that he kept it very similar to how Finn might if he was going to kind of merge the two. So I appreciated that aspect of it. The overall presentation I gave a 9. To me, it was a very great figure. And like this is also the kind of the same thing here. I think first of all, it's tough because of the theme. It's like you can either interpret it a couple different ways to where it's going to be more wrestler than it is superhero, or the other way where it's going to be a little more superhero than wrestler. And we kind of tried to, accept both of them, but kind of leverage the medium between those two. So looking at Gambit, I'm seeing the legs and I'm like Finn Balor, and that works so well on the Finn Balor level, but for the Gambit level, it almost kind of makes the figure seem disconnected from each other, from the top torso to the bottom. It almost looks like the top is going all the way, and then the bottom, while the boots are amazing, I think maybe there's just something for me that seems like it should be there too, like maybe a strap on his thigh, or maybe go with the pants like the Chargrove style. But then again, he picked Kenny Omega, so it's a little different. Nonetheless, overall presentation 9. Painting skills, I can't give him anything other than a 10. The NWF is one of the best painters in the game. Period. He's so clean. And mixing the decals and the work that he does to make the decals with the paint, wow, amazing. So, likeness, originality, it looks like Finn, completely looks like Finn. I like the cowl on it, sculpted. I give it an 8, though, because to me, it was something that I kind of wish it works as Finn, but Finn, to me, has never really kind of the same lines. Kind of, it's hard to see the merging of him and Gambit. So, super weird, abstract category. So, that's very just objective to myself, So it's only me. 8 out of 10 there. Complexity 9. I thought this was very complex. Same thing Showstopper said. I loved the use of the Neville shin guards, though, and I'm not taking anything away from that on a quality-wise scale, but the complexity, meaning you didn't have to do as much work to arrive at the finished product. Nothing against that. I loved the part choices. I loved, though, the jacket. The jacket really frames the figure, and it makes the top half of this figure. This top half of the figure is a 50 out of 50 for me. There's nothing other than like maybe the head, and I would have liked to see a little bit of, I don't know, like contacts or a little bit of something that gave me that Gambit kind of look about his face. I don't know. Workmanship, 10 out of 10.
Color.
Yeah, and yeah. I can't put my finger on it, but it's something that the hit is great. Finn Balor works great. It's just close there for me. 46 out of 50. So for me, I have the NWF winning this one. That's my
by a point, right?
Yep, because it's 46 out of 50. And Bubble and Squeak had 45. And this was so tough, and I'm not taking anything away from either of these guys. Great customs, just up against each other. I lean a little more towards the NWFs because of the, I think the upper body is what put it over for me. Good. Real chosen one.
Much of the same from me. The upper body, I think, is exceptional. I really love the facial expression on that head. It looks like a Gambit facial expression. I thought that was good. The cards, of course, accessories are always nice. The boot kick pads are nice. I wish that knee pad would have gelled just a little bit more. It would have popped out that red where it's the X-Men logo. So that was the only minor thing. I gave 9 on overall presentation, 10 on painting skills, 10 on likeness and originality, 10 on complexity, and 9 on workmanship, 48. So that means that the NWF will advance. Because I believe the fans also voted for NWF.
But it was super close. And the one thing I'm looking at the figure here, Gambit, maybe what would have popped is like a little bit of pink or black lower, a little bit more of that. So maybe black knee pads with some pink, or maybe even some hot pink knee pads to like kind of make it pop a little more crazy in a fantasy into the comic realm. Or maybe some of the color of his chest. But yeah, knee pads even would make a huge difference.
And we say this all the time, but this is another case of just going up against the wrong person. You know, if Bubble Squeeze had gone against someone else, he very well may have advanced because it was a flawless figure and just happened to go up against the NWF, who has been around a time or two.
Absolutely.
The gift of the gods champion.
Wow. All right, there we go. Moving on to the next one. Go ahead, the real chosen one. Do you want to start us off?
Sure.
It's too long to say. That's why I think Mad Reaper is like Mad Reaper.
RC1.
IC1.
RC1. Yep. Real chosen one.
RC1.
Okay. So we have My Damn Toys doing a Dolph Green Lantern, and we have the amazing Hall of Fame the amazing Biondo doing Iron Man Seth, and both figures turned out very well. I have some notes. Let's see. I like that he left the highlights in the back of the hair. I thought that was a nice touch. It looks very smooth. He really took what we said the first round and applied it to the second round, and it's night and day between his advancements. It's perfect. Very smooth. Looks sort of Mattel made. He took the directions from last time, and I love the metallic green because he could have just gone green, but he went metallic green. And I thought that was a really nice touch.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I agree.
So I gave him 9 in overall presentation, 9 on painting skills, 10 on likeness and originality, because I could totally see Dolph Ziggler actually pull this off. You know, I could see him doing this, so that's definitely good. It was a little less complex figure than something like the next figure, so I gave it an 8 there and a 9 for workmanship for a total of 45.
Cool.
What say you, Mad Reaper?
All right, so MDT, first of all, amazing improvement. Like, this is night and day. And, having talked to MDT and knowing that what I've seen at least way back as far as even like the Pennywise Finn, like I seen like the potential if there was a little more patience behind the work. And last time, I don't know if you guys knew this, but with Pegasus Kid, MDT pretty much turned it around within 5 days. I think probably even less. You guys would have to ask him. But this Green Lantern took significantly longer, and you could tell it really paid off. I think this doesn't look. This looks like a whole nother level, and the paint choice. I think all of it's very sensible.
He really took that sanding to heart, and he really smoothed that out.
And the watering and patience and the way you got around the boots look incredible. Everything looks incredible, and it's a great looking figure. Even the chest, it looks really nice. Like the colors. That being said, overall presentation, I gave it a 9 just because to me the 10 was going to be really hard for what I had set up in my mind for what I would envision a 10 being. So I gave it a 9, and that is pretty much just, I think it's one of those things where Green Lantern's got a very classical costume. So for me, this came off very Super Friends, and it was so badass and so awesome. But it was one of those things where the presentation didn't quite drift over into like the wrestling realm, which isn't a bad thing. Again, so relative. So you guys, hopefully you guys all know that. take it with a grain of salt because that presentation is really, depending on the character, and the character is completely subjective to your mind. So painting skills, 10 out of 10. MDT, damn, great work, 10 out of 10. Very crisp lines, the boots, the accessories, the ring, the mask. The one thing that does bug me, and I'm not going to necessarily take it off at painting skills, but it is the kind of the I put it alongside the workmanship, is the skin tone right above the mask sculpt. I think you did a great job in sculpting the mask. It looks very well shaped. It looks really good. But I see a little bit of skin tone, like a Caucasian color above that, right kind of between the eyes there. And it kind of separates it, at least to me in the picture, from the rest of Dolph's skin tone. And it might be one of those cases of Dolph's skin tone being a very darker tan one. And so that contrast is really hard to match. But either way, you got a 10 for painting skills. The likeness originality, 10 because I could see Dolph as this. The complexity, I did an 8 just because, again, like this is something where I mean no disrespect because it is not easy. Something simple could be super difficult. Line work, tattoos are simple in design, but they're some of the most intricate and difficult tattoos to tattoo because you need to have those straight lines. So
and the guy who's done a gazillion pentagons, he knows what he's talking about.
And so for me, the complexity.
And wax.
Yeah, the complexity was a 8, but that's nothing against the figure. Workmanship, 8 as well. For the reasons stating above, the sculpting, I thought it was very nice. I kind of wish I would have been able to see his eyes still, but then that is a different, like more realistic style. This is more Super Friends. I really appreciate it. Boots looked awesome. 45 out of 50. That's all I got to say.
All right, cool.
Showstopper, what say you, my man?
All right. Well, first of all, I gotta give props to My Damn Toys for submitting such a great piece.
Yeah.
He's really been improving so much. So
absolutely,
I tip my to that. Score wise, again, like I said, presentation and workmanship both 10s. I gotta say, with how tough this round is. Among us three, I think I'm the one who's really been enjoying scoring this because I have all the high scores more than you two.
Yeah,
that's a rare.
What's going on here?
I don't know. I'm really just happy with this round.
I'm happy how they all turned out, and like I said before, this is by far my favorite round, and I agree with you. I think it's the most technically sound round, so it's very impressive to everyone. Round of applause for me.
Painting is my jam, and all these entries, man, I'm really just loving it. So, with that, painting skills for MDT 10, originality 10, and for complexity, I gave him an 8. Because again, simple. However, I'm not saying that it's easy.
Right.
But you know what I mean. Just like what Mad Reaper explained about complexity. So, details on this figure, I really like the use of those. Those were Roman Reigns gauntlets, right?
I think so. Yeah. It's very smart choice.
Yep. Very practical, very smart choice. The details on the boots, I really like those too. The hair strands, it's something Dolph would do. And what else? The metallic paint. I don't even know. Well, I haven't encountered any custom where I had to, use metallic paint. Well, not yet anyway. But seeing this, I'm really impressed. I'm not sure how this was done, if this is metallic paint off the bottle directly, or if it's something mixed.
Same here.
So
same here.
With that in my mind, me wondering about it, it only means that it's that good. So yeah, it's a solid 48 for me.
And I gotta say that's a great score. And to anyone who is listening to this, and if you're not a customizer and you guys think we're harping on them, this isn't. These guys all did amazing work, and if I personally could, and honestly meaning this, I would advance all of them because all these entries are so amazing, and this is how close it is. But that being said, look at how good My Damn Toys painted that boot. Look how up close it is. Now, look at any of your other custom figures that you might have done or that you have bought from someone else, and look at the boot from that detail. It's really hard, and this is really scrutiny. So this is really high scrutiny and more than an excess. These are all great figures. This is all just very nitpicky.
The customizers thank us a lot of times for that because they like to get the feedback, someone honestly telling them what they think and things that they can improve on and work on and get better, like My Damn Toys did from the first round to the second round. So, it's also a good thing for them that we're sometimes a little nitpicky so that they can improve on certain things or.
Yeah, I mean, and at the end of the day, it's like, that's how nitpicky I am with all mine. Like, I've never finished a custom where I don't have something that I want to fix on it. And I'm sure we're all like that. And that's where it's like, even Jeff Jarrett, like, a lot of people think that's one of my best customs. It bugs the shit out of me because there's something I want to fix on him. And so, like, that's how it works, though, with us. So, there's always something, and it's all just these little varying degrees. So, that being said, man, great work, My Damn Toys. Up against a tough opponent, too. So, this was your really coming out party to stand and bang because the last one didn't get to show up. So, very, very good competition. That being said, Biondo, right? There we go.
That doesn't look like Biondo. There we go.
Burn it down.
All right,
RC1.
Mr. Burn It Down. Give us some advice about this figure. What do you think about it?
Okay, this figure is, I think, the perfect mesh between the categories and the themes that we were kind of nailing down. This is something that I could see Seth Rollins really wearing.
Me too.
And the color palette is something that it's a stark contrast from didn't mean to do that. You guys get it. It's a contrast from the previous figure and the metallic on My Damn Toys because me personally, I would have loved to see metallic on this figure. Fortunately for Biondo and this figure as a whole, such a beautiful figure. The color scheme and the colors work for a lot of different versions of the comic books. So there's always a bunch of different palettes, and really any of them fall because Iron Man's been painted that way sometime. And to me, it was really awesome. It was like a classic superheroes 80s figure of Iron Man meshed with the gear of Seth. That being said, Biondo, your attention to detail never ceases to amaze me. The belt buckle sculpted just as well as the latest Mattel figure. The hands, amazing. The gloves, it makes sense. You picked a figure that would have that, and the hands are such a big part of Seth, so I thought this was a perfect marriage between the figure and the hero. The chest plate too. Seth wears that, and you went out above and beyond with the shoulder plates.
Circuitry and everything.
Amazing. The circuitry, the paint job, everything was so clean. And with Seth, all you had to do for that head scan is make him look a little more like Tony Stark. But it was amazing. I wished. I'll have to tell you.
The beard.
Yeah, I'll have to tell you some tips to what size to do your photos at because I wish I could get the whole photo on this Instagram. But the boots, everything was painted so crisp, so clean. Line work, amazing. 10s out of 10. 10s everywhere for me. So 50 out of 50 for Biondo from me. Amazing figure. This was again the best figure I've seen of Biondo, and it keeps getting better. He keeps getting better.
And that's saying a lot.
And he shows like this is again. Biondo outdid himself, and this was the Biondo I was expecting from round one. And I want to see this Biondo versus Rocket Jabroni. Like I think Ultimo Dragon knocked off a lot of rust. This is Biondo full speed.
Absolutely. I'll go next because I had simply one note. Nailed it. 50. There you go. Everything that Showstopper said, everything that Mad Reaper said, everything I'm sure that Showstopper is going to say. You can't say enough great things about this. The detail on the knee pad to do the Seth Rollins logo, the circuitry, the attention to detail. all the paint apps. It's just all amazing. And like I said, simply nailed it. He's outdone himself, and that's saying a lot. What say you, Showstopper Customs?
Well, if you guys gave him all tens, well, what do you expect from me? All tens. I mean, man, how can you fault this entry right here? From the circuitry to the sculpting of the chest, the hands, those shoulder pads.
Yeah,
all 10 painting was great.
it's beautiful. Biondo, amazing.
Complexity, it was great. The beard mustache combo, making it look like Starks. That's genius. It's a perfect 50 for me, but I have just one. I don't know if it's a critique or I'm just nitpicking. To me, with this entry itself, I don't think the mask is actually needed. If anything, what I would have thought would have worked more would be a replaceable head, where you use this head, and then the other would be
The full helmet.
Shield set, and then sculpt the helmet around it, so you still see the face. Then you probably put the mask over it, like it's an open helmet thing. But
Oh yeah.
then again, that's just me. But as it is, it's flawless. It's 50.
No, definitely. I think the figure works too with the balance. If you guys remove the mask from me, you guys have heard me speak a lot about the composition of a figure and the look about it. Very weird artsy terms, but to me, like, if you take off the mask, the composition remains the same. The beard really adds everything there is to add to the head, but the shoulder guards really set up and frame this figure to where my eyes are moving from the kick pads to the knees, gloves, and then all the way up to the armor. And so by the time I get to the head, it's kind of extra, and without that kind of dome feeling helmet that Iron Man typically has, it does make it feel like he's dressing up as Iron Man versus like Seth's Iron Man, you know. But that's, I agree. I totally see what you mean.
And I totally agree with what you said earlier. I could totally see Seth Rollins absolutely pulling this off and doing it in real life. So that says a lot about what Biondo did to put that image into my head. And I just think, like we say all the time, he is amazing. And to my damn toys, it's another situation where you just went up against a tough opponent. You know, your figure was good enough to beat a lot of figures, but it just happened to hit Biondo, and Biondo happened to hit his stride, and it's unfortunate. But
that being said, My Damn Toys and any person eliminated this round is still eligible for the Gift of the Gods round. And if there's one person I know that could pump out figures fast, besides Showstopper, MDT does do very fast work too. So, I mean, hey, you could always jump in there, bro. Like, it's a great showing. Amazing showing. So, let's move on to the next round, right?
Absolutely. We have Creature Will with Madman Edge, and we have Chargrove Customs with Kenny Omega Gambit.
Oh, let's real quick. I think we should address the fan votes, though. How the fans voted for MDT.
Okay, for dress.
Alexa, stop listening.
Top recipe called ranch dressing 2.
Alexa, you cannot be on the show.
Alexa, what the hell, man? Okay, there we go. Did you just
Fan
give
votes.
your review for Creature Will?
No, I just said that the fan vote for My Damn Toys was overwhelmingly in favor of My Damn Toys, which I would expect because he has a huge following and he put up a very solid figure, so I wouldn't expect anything differently. Mad props to him, mad props to Biondo. Now, on to Creature Will and Chargrove. Shall I go first?
Sure. Yeah, the fan vote, I mean, you guys understand that we each are valued at 20 each, so that's the 60, and then the fan votes count for the 40. this, of course, is a work in progress, so if you guys are frustrated with this for any reason, we're still working on it, and we're introducing a new scoring system and setup. Showstopper had a great idea. We've talked about it on an earlier podcast, but yeah, it's going to be interesting going forward, too. So let's go ahead.
Showstopper and My Damn Toys both had interesting
Yes.
ideas, and we have a role in the future that we're thinking about implementing that would give you guys all sorts of power beyond your wildest imagination and could be very cool. So if we decide to do that, we will talk about that very soon. You got snippets of it last week when My Damn Toys was on here. So Creature Will. Going all yellow is completely insane, and it's a big risk, but I think it paid off. He did an absolutely great job. Overall presentation 10, painting skills 10, likeness originality 10, complexity 9, and workmanship 10. So that is a 49 from the real chosen one. What's
Showstopper?
Showstopper.
All right. For Will, he gave us yellow and white. So I don't know what his plan was, but those are two killer colors to do. So with him submitting that, props to him for being brave enough to attempt yellow and white. He did extremely well. Let's see, how did I score him? Again, presentation, workmanship 10 for both. Originality, I gave him a 10. Complexity, another 10. The figure itself doesn't have, all the bells and whistles that it could have, but it didn't need it because the character itself is just like that. A guy in a spandex suit, maybe. So the complexity here lies in the painting.
Yeah.
Being able to produce yellow that cleanly, as well as the white. Ironically, I gave him 9 for painting skills because in the pictures, I could see a tape line across the chest and back, as well as some paint rubs on those elbow joints. So I took a point away for painting skills. So that's a 9, giving him a total of 49. But overall, this is a tough one to do as well. So simple, yet so tough to pull off. Go ahead. There's, it's Creature Will. His signature, articulated hands. What else can we say about it,
Yeah, that's what really sets the figure apart, and I just want to say, look at how close this matchup is here. I gotta admit, I wasn't expecting it to be this close. Creature Will, I know he had a lot of experience, and we kind of ushered him into the pro tournament, even though he was just getting started in wrestling figures.
He did a lot of G.I. Joes.
Yes,
and,
huge
he's
experience.
an art teacher, which helps, but he hadn't really started a Kenny Omega, and I think maybe finished it, but that was about it at that point. So.
Yeah, and because of his experience, we kind of had him fill in any spot that we needed him, and he was flexible. So, I gotta say, this is the best. This is the best work I've seen from Creature Will, and this is the expectation. It's gonna be tough to outdo himself going forward because this was a very clean figure.
This is the Will that I always knew was out there, though.
Yeah, and this is a very clean figure up against someone who is known for very clean figures as well. And Chargrove is one of the best, and to me, that says a lot how tough this is. And Chargrove wasn't sleeping on him either. You could tell how much detail went in that figure too. It's just very close. So to me, Will, overall presentation, oh man, your figure stuck out. You picked such a striking figure in that composition. Other than the boots, which I understand why they should be black because the character's black, it kind of just loses in the picture. Overall, it doesn't even matter because it looks so great. 10 out of 10 for overall presentation. Painting skills, 9 out of 10, and that was because of the paint line as well. What I could see there, it kind of just detracted from me. Sometimes I'll do that if I'm airbrushing or I'm layering on a color, if I'm trying to make a thin edge and I'm actually trying to have that elevation there versus sculpting a little lip. But in this instance, I don't think you meant to do that, and that kind of caused it. But I know you were talking about some of the paint issues too before, so I'm sure you had to do a lot more work than you would have thought originally to arrive at this end product, which is still great. So 9 out of 10. Likeness originality, 10 out of 10. I loved the head scan. It gave me this creepy, I was telling the guys,
Headcan's
this was
perfect
super
for
tough.
what
It
he's
gave me a hyper-realistic feel of it. So if you guys... or like Ren and Stimpy and those sculptures of them, or that 3D art of SpongeBob and Squidward and like that, it looks super creepy and almost horrifying because of how realistic they look. This edge face kind of gives that to that Madman character, and to me, I thought it was a great expression. You sanded off the head. That being said, complexity, you got 10 as well, because I understand and appreciate. This is a perfect example of simple but not easy. The gloves, the hands, that pose right there, the gloves. You guys look at this, and he's going for the realistic route, but maintaining kind of that comic book feel. He's going to take away the most unrealistic hands, in my opinion, or the most unrealistic thing about the WWE figures, in my opinion, are the hands, and he made those human, and because of that, and with the face, this figure has an odd feeling, and it makes you kind of get lost staring at it. So the complexity was there, standing off the ears, sculpting the hair.
Love.
Yeah, everything, 10 out of 10, workmanship, complexity, 49 out of 50, creature will. Best custom so far from you.
Showstopper, what say you on Chargrove?
All right. Chargrove. Here we go. Another gambit. Another beautiful entry. Now, before I continue, let me just, I kind of explain something about the theme itself. Because personally, this is how I understood it. Wills and Chargroves are the perfect examples of two interpretations of the theme. One interpretation that I was saying was a wrestler cosplaying as a superhero. So that's the route some of our contestants took, just like Chargroves. And then the other interpretation is the actual mix of fiction and wrestling, just like the Mattel WWE Zombies and Monster line.
Yeah.
So entry falls into that category. So to me, those are the two main interpretations of this team. That's how I
yeah, I'd agree.
Same here. Perfect way. Yeah, perfect explanation, I think.
Yeah, that's a perfect explanation.
To Chargrove's entry, again, man, presentation, workmanship, both 10s. No explanations there for everyone. For every entry, I really like all their presentations. And let me just commend everyone's photos.
Yes.
They're probably the best this round than any round or in previous season. So that really helps.
Helped huge.
Clear photos and well-shot photos only sell your work that much more. So
please email them to me. Yes. Yeah. Great.
Email them is the best way, because Instagram has this weird thing where it takes some of the clearness away and blurs it a little bit and reses it. So definitely I'm suggesting you email Mad Reaper, because that's going to be the best way to get your work the best possible showing.
So yeah, hats off to everyone for submitting great pictures.
Yes, absolutely.
Skills, perfect 10. Those necklines and then the lines on the ties, Even the lines on the boots, flawless. The pink, the black, all smooth. Even the silver. Originality, another 10. Um, the staff with the broom at the end was kind of on the nose, a little bit cheeky, but
Kenny-ish, yeah. Yeah.
you know, the cleaner, you know.
Yeah, I
So
liked it.
yeah, so that's a 10 for me. Complexity, uh, that's another 10. Oh, originality or likeness. This is more on the likeness. I gave him a 9. So meaning, Will and Chargrove, they're tied in my books. And the reason I gave 9 for likeness, um, if those knee guards were placed on the actual knees, this would have been a 50 for me. For some reason, I couldn't get past seeing 4 on this figure. But that's, that's just a small thing for me. But it would have helped if those knee guards were on the knees. Exactly.
Would it be fair to say if he had NWF's boots, would he have beat Will?
I couldn't say. Looking at it, imagining it, I actually liked how he did this. So I wouldn't, I wouldn't change the parts. I would have done this myself. It's painting. Painting lines. That's
Yeah, it's very crisp.
And you can show off by painting lines, but so
It's
I would
very
have done
showstopper-ish. It very much does remind me of one of your works too, and that's a huge compliment. Like
That's
amazing
a
compliment.
very huge compliment. Don't take that lightly. Yeah.
So yeah, I would have gone this route as well, painting the lines for the boots. It's just that those knee guards, if they were just a tad higher on the knees, it would have been a 50 for me. But between the two, I can't find one that's uh, had the edge over the other. So um, it's a
Tie
tie
from
for.
Showstopper.
I'm sorry, guys, I can't. It's,
All right, chosen
you know.
one. You're on deck.
Alright, so I love the broom staff. Didn't mark anything down, but the jacket was a little bulky. What that comes from, having an actual jacket versus sculpt like the NWF did. Minor picky thing, but with the long hair, I wish he would have done the later Gambit or the Horseman of Death Gambit, just because Gambit actually had long hair then. I think the pink is a perfect shade. I love the little neck. I don't know what you call it, but the little neck thing. I love that. The Kenny head doesn't say Gambit, but that's an interpretation of how the cosplay is. So overall presentation 10, painting skills 10, likeness originality 9, complexity 9, workmanship 10. That's 48. So I had it super close, 48 to 49. So it's they're both amazing figures, and I think different interpretations, but they look great on anyone's shelf, mantelpiece, or whatnot. So
But you
with
have
that,
Will winning, right?
1.1 measly
Whew.
point. So with that, Mad Reaper, what say the master of disaster? No, what say the master?
Man, yeah, this was so tough. This was the toughest round, and not in terms of just the quality of the figures, but the matchup. And you guys understand, like these matches are just relative to whoever you're facing in that figure. You're not facing any other figure, and this was super tough. Chargrove,
Unlike Gift of the Gods.
Yeah, and Chargrove didn't sleep on him, and I really respect Chargrove for that, because I think to a lot of
Absolutely.
people, Creature Will is very new to this, and he's going to be, I hope, taking hand commissions. He's done a couple for me. You'll see him on the Bullet Club figures that I'm doing here currently, but he's growing very fast, and you guys need to follow him. He's a rising star, and Chargrove gave him the respect. Chargrove put up a very good fight, and to me, it's right down the middle as well. It's literally so tough. I have actually same score as Showstopper. 10 for overall presentation, painting skills, 9 for likeness originality, and then 10 for complexity and 10 for workmanship. The likeness originality as well is the idea of the Kenny head kind of in the RVD head merging with Gambit. I like the execution because you took the element, the kind of interpretation of the theme where it was a wrestler cosplaying as a hero, and to me,
That's
that was
Crunchyroll
amazing
for you folks.
And to me, yeah, the pink, the way you set off that color, the lines down the side, the detail you used into the tights, this was a perfect composition for the figure. This is a fully decked out Gambit outfit, and to me, the only thing that may have made a difference is a different head might have for me, but really it's nothing. Honestly, man, both of you guys did nothing wrong other than the head was a little off for me for Chargrove and the painting tape line on Will. And to me, I really struggled with this. I honestly could not, in good conscience, and you guys can tell hopefully listening to this, and hopefully this would have been like our 8th or 7th judging session around there. Really I hope that you guys are able to tell how hard it was for us to arrive at these decisions. Super tough, super close. For me, it's really nothing. So you guys did both great figures, 49 out of 50, and now this is where it gets difficult because our established scoring system would have it put this way, to where ideally, if we had 2 ties, we don't necessarily have any points going out. And then Pat, with his 20, goes 20. And the fans in this instance, because of the following, but because also how close it was and how great of a custom it is, chose Chargrove. That would mean that Chargrove would advance. And here we've talked to both parties, and well, in the sense that we know kind of how they feel about it. And I think that there is this matchup is so relatively close that we're going to override our protocol kind of for this, because I think the scoring is very particular in this one. I hope that you guys understand here. I'm not trying to undermine the scoring system or undermine the fans or any of that, but this comes down to the magnitude
One thing,
of
we
the
never want
situation.
this to be a popularity contest, and I feel like when one person has such a big following and one has a smaller following, it also becomes a popularity contest. And this was so close. As you can see, 1 point by me, even by Showstopper, even by the Mad Reaper. So we really felt we had no choice in this.
See, and to me, I mean, I know you don't mean calling it a popularity contest in terms of like saying that there's no merit to Chargrove's custom, because I think
No.
right.
I
To me,
1 point difference. I mean, that's how
Right.
great both of them are.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I think it comes down to like a lot of people familiar with the work and Chargrove and the character too. I think this might have been something where the character, if people don't know who Madman is,
Will
might not
likes
vote
those
for him.
obscure characters.
But we also have to take into account that that's not necessarily a criteria. You don't need to be known. So either way, this is our contest. I'm putting up the prize money. We're putting up the prize money. Patrick's got the trophies. Showstoppers donated to the prize pot. We're growing. Rocket Jaroni did. At the end of the day,
We're the faces that run the place.
we want to please everybody. So the only fair thing here is to bring it back. Rematch. I'm a big fight fan. This is what we do with fight fans. I know Chargrove's a big fight fan. This is what we do. We run it back. This is a draw. If you guys know UFC and are as much of a fan as I am, this is Wonder Boy and Woodley 1. This is a very close battle. This is a war, and I want to see it again. I think the people want to see it again. People wanted Chargrove to win.
Fans would demand.
Will showed up with a very equal custom in my eyes. It's too tough to call. Showstopper agrees with me, calling this a majority draw, and so we're running it back. And so both these guys will be moving on to the next round. And I apologize if you guys aren't happy with this. Again, we're working on the new scoring system, which would hopefully have kind of like a 10-9 must-win system. But this is another thing to where I hate to sound like Dana White and the UFC, but this is something that it's left up to the judges. And really, you guys were both so great and both made perfect figures. And next time, let's see who does it better. Maybe if Chargrove had pink eyes, that would have been enough to put it over for me. It's so close, you guys. So close, and I want to see it again.
It's so very close. So next round, we will, I'm assuming, have a triple threat where we will have Chargrove and Creature Will and the winner of our next matchup. So
does that make sense, guys? Did I explain it well? I hope that...
I think you explained it very well. I mean, it's just, if three judges are this torn about it, I feel it's only right to go ahead and advance them both, because that's too close to call. If three judges all say the same thing, that means something.
The work speaks for itself, so,
Absolutely. And nobody's getting eliminated, so nobody can complain about that. It's just, there's, instead of a head-to-head match, it's going to be a triple threat match. And I think that both of those guys earned the opportunity. SmackDown says it is the land of opportunity. Well, so is the Custom Underground. And when we can give you that opportunity, we will run with it. And I think this was the right call on everybody's part. And now we have TSM as Deadpool, Finn Balor, and we have Psycho Clown as Venom from CAW. And this will be a matchup. Mad Reaper, run with it.
Wow. TSM, here we go. Deadpool and Finn Balor. I know Pat was very critical. My colleague, the Beavis to my butthead, was very critical about Finn Balor's before this. And I think he might have still been, but it really worked well. I mean, I do agree to the extent that it is easy to kind of plug in Deadpool accessories onto a Finn Balor. And to that extent, I don't mean that insultingly. It just is convenient, and it's possible. And I think that makes it up for the ability to do so. You have that option. And it actually worked out because I think it looks great. I think that you sculpted the holsters on the thigh, and I thought that was very well sculpted. To me, that was a very nice detail, because otherwise, where I think NWF's Finn kind of didn't keep my eye connected, that holster connected those two. It connected the top piece and the belt to the legs for me. So that was enough for me.
You don't have this gap in between. You have something there to bring it all together. Yeah, absolutely. Good point, Matt.
Yeah, and so I really liked that. Overall presentation for me was a 9. I do think that this is also a little more in the painting skills, but painting skills, you got a 10 from me. But the presentation, I think that the red might have read. This is another accidental pun. The red might have read a little too dark. And to me, I like it. I really do like the color of the red. It looks just like my Pentagon mask. I love it. But I think it is a little hard with the eyes of Deadpool. The black and red is very tough. And so if you're not going to bring the accessories to that level, and to me, a darker red usually relates inside my mind to a little more of a realistic approach, a darker tone, more realistic, gritty approach. I didn't see that in the accessories. If you would have made the brown on the belt match the brown on the holster, it would have looked awesome. And if you would have made the silver alongside there look more silver and chromed and then aged up and dirtied, it would have really looked sweet, and I think it would have really put this figure over. So 46 out of 50 for me. 9 for overall presentation, 10 for painting skills, 10 for likeness and originality, 8 for complexity, for those points that I said, nothing against that, just parts are available, that's Deadpool parts, and workmanship, 9 out of 10. But otherwise, great figure. I really love the gloves too. I think that's a little Finn nod, and it really works for Deadpool. I think that design-wise, TSM is very creative, and I think that to me the thought process, you can see that in MDT and TSM, their creations, and not singling anyone else out, but those are the first two that come to mind. You can really see the creativity behind the composition of these figures, and they looked great. So, real chosen one.
Okay, let's go over the
Real chosen one.
Showstopper customs because I'm interested in what he has to say about this. I threw it over to you, Showstopper.
Oh.
Cool.
I'm interested in what he has to say because he had some insightful things when we were talking.
All right. Okay, well, TSM, let's see. Well, there's the presentation workmanship, both things. I still give painting skills a 10 because I agree, that's also my critique, that the paint, the red is kind of too dark. But the application of it is really smooth. So I have to give a 10 for that too, regardless of the shade. But that's my critique. The chosen shade was kind of too dark. Originality, I gave a 9. Complexity, I gave an 8. Because to me, if you take away all the add-ons, the accessories and such, it's quite a simple, not too difficult custom to do. So as a total, I gave TSM a 47.
And it still looks really great. I agree. Like that complexity, I had the same thing. So it's just the parts availability.
It's a big figure, but we have to judge it, or I have to judge it how I see it and how I, according to, I don't know, not to use the word exactly standards, but I still have to judge it. So, and based on my judgment, those are the things that I thought about it. So yeah,
nice.
Biggest thing was the paint; they were too dark.
It's very
Apparently,
fair.
I'm the ass on this because I judged these very harshly. Dark red's too dark. I think that takes away from the appreciation of the figure. You have to sell your figure, and with the black there, they just blend together, and you can't really see the face, and that's a problematic thing. The paint apps are super smooth, though. I thought that was good. The holster on there, I went 8 on overall presentation, 7 on painting skills because of the darkness, 9 on likeness and originality, 8 and 8 on complexity and workmanship, for a total of 39. I love you, TSM. It was just a little too dark.
Wow.
And back to
no. I think.
What?
Yeah, I think you should go on to the last one. Kyle.
All right.
CAW.
AW. I'll go first. Okay. Let's bring up the picture.
But I did like this little detail on.
I did like that. I saw
that.
that. I thought that was brilliant. That was a nice move. Okay, so we're looking at CAW's Psycho Clown, if I'm correct, as Venom. CAW is, of course, a legend in Mexico. The luchadors have them make his figures. It was a risky move to do the phasing version. I feel like perhaps that the theme was a little bit lost in this figure because there's not more of Venom on it. I would have loved to have seen a shout out to Custom King half and half version. That would have been awesome. But there was, on the back of the boot, he showed just a little bit of the phasing coming up on there, and I thought that was a really nice touch because the back of the figure is usually ignored in large portions because, you always see the front normally. So thought that was good. So that being said, I judged this one harshly, apparently, which I regret. Anyway, so overall presentation, I gave it a 6 only because of the fact that it didn't have more of the Venom, and I thought that was kind of the theme. So I did that. And painting skills 9. He's an awesome customizer. I mean, his paints are so smooth. He does insane work. Very happy with that. Likeness originality 9. Complexity 8 because again it was missing the theme. Workmanship 9 for a 41. What say you? Whoever wants to go next. Toss up.
Showstopper.
So I have CAW winning, by the way. Just
Okay, so CAW's Venom. I agree with Pat's critique of the hero side of it, needing a bit more of it actually. So
there's the back of the boot I was talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So it would have been nice. Well, given that there's the half the face of Venom, which is incredibly done. I actually can't tell. Did he sculpt the teeth on that Venom? It looks like he did. If he did,
it looks like there is some definition to them. Yeah.
Yeah, there is. So that's why I was thinking if that was sculpted, then that's really, really great.
Amazing.
It could, looking at that detail, it could have made up for, the lack of Venom on the figure. But then again, personally, I would have liked to see more of the symbiote on the body. But scoring-wise, again, presentation workmanship given, that's 10. Originality is a 10 for me. Complexity 10, and let's see here. Painting skills I gave a 9 only because I kind of like I was saying I kind of wanted more of the Venom, so that's where the point of the painting came from. If there were more painting of the Venom, it would have been a perfect 10 as well. But saying that, going into detail. I really like the little touch of the Venom design on the short or skirt or whatever that is. And another thing is, like I was asking you guys, if that shirt design was painted or not, because either way it was done perfectly. So big props to CAW for that, for making me think.
I think it's painted. The more I stare at it, yeah, it really does look painted.
I really can't tell. Yeah, it does look hand painted, and then again, also it looks so clean that it could be a also
which is a compliment. It's a huge compliment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's the ultimate goal, and I believe that's the only reason someone should hand paint a logo is if it's this tough to tell the difference, and you're that good. And CAW is that good. It's tough to tell.
So, what did you give him as total score, Showstopper?
That is a 49 in my book.
And what did you give TSM?
47.
Okay.
So we have CAW moving on, and I will go through my critique here. First of all, I do want to preface this conversation again real quick with a little, I guess, thought process on how I view the different cultures and different countries, how different countries do customs. We've explored the idea of a World Cup, and I think there are similar styles within customizers. U.S. there's just a ton of customizers, and it kind of ranges. So we kind of just copy all the other badass customizers, whatever Showstopper's doing, and then we just copy that recipe. But no, I do think that a lot of it though is very. I don't know. I think it's very subjective. What I see of the Mexican style is a lot of fur, a lot of fabric, a lot of decals, a lot of like tape work, a lot of different add-ons, a lot of dimension, and to me, I liken it to a mask. A luchador mask. You guys know I love them. I wore one every episode. But you guys see the different textures. You guys see the craftsmanship, and you guys see, how you're gonna go with the metallic gold, and then sew it with a gold glitter. And to me, yes.
And like that right there is a real mask.
What a beautiful figure, and the fact that that's a real mask shows the attention to detail. And this is something that one thing, what I'm trying to say, long story short, essentially is that I think it's underappreciated. You guys need to really be able to look at that as the work of art that it is, and you have to explain it, the style, to the world, the rest of the world. Like we have to explain Lucha Libre to the rest of the world. There is a style, and I really love CAW style. To me, CAW is a Mexican legend. Every time I look at your figures, I am inspired. And to me, every time I want to like look at it and be like, man, this is something that I feel like could be a little better here, I ask myself, could I recreate that? How would I go about it? And every time I'd even look at your character's pants, I'd be like, no way. How? I wouldn't know where to start, and I think that mix is so signature. You have your own style, and it's wonderful, man. What a beautiful figure. To me, you got a 10 for overall presentation. I really love the figure, and painting skills, you got a 9, because to me the only thing that I see is maybe a sharpening up. It got so much cleaner from last round. This is such a huge improvement. I could see that you took our advice and our critique to heart, and this is a very, very fine figure. Perfect figure.
There's your boy.
Just a little sharper. Pentagon, yeah, beautiful, and this is something where I do want to say this real quick too, and this is not to get on another tangent, but if it's gonna come up in a conversation, the fact is that I don't think Jakks Pacific figures are much harder to paint, because I could put as much work into a 5-inch Hasbro old little figure than some people do into Elites. I think that's all. I don't like that argument. I don't believe it. I think they all have their unique challenges in customizing.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Unique challenges, each one of them. And whether you're painting, the those little Hasbro things that Custom King's doing, or whether you're painting Jakks, whether you're painting R3s, whatever. They all have unique challenges. Anything.
I mean,
G.I. Joes have unique challenges.
And the one thing is like, I know the articulation, the challenge in the Elites is that there is more challenge to get the paint to stick to the articulation points, which there are more of, but that does not take anything away from the skill, the vision, the execution, the overall figure. That being said, 47 out of 50, 10, 9, 10, 9, 9. Complexity, workmanship, both got 9s. Painting skills got 9s, but likeness, originality, I love it. Psycho Clown's awesome, 10. 47 out of 50. I have CAW moving on, and that is this round. Right, guys?
This is that round really quickly. I love the Mohawks, by the way. He just does those beautifully. Little I call it skirt, but I don't know what you'd necessarily call it. It was beautiful. We have a few things we need to discuss really quickly to end the show. Before the show occurred, we did our drawing, the 1K giveaway, and Jakks WWE figures won. So congratulations to you. You will be receiving a instant message from me, assuming that you followed the page, which I will have to double check. And also you will be receiving the 10 items. That being said, late breaking news.
Did you want to tell them the chosen process or just no?
Chosen process was completely random. I had Showstopper pick a number between 1 and whatever we had. I won't say that, but and he chose a number, and that's what it turned out to be. So
awesome.
It's completely as random as can be.
I didn't know what it was for, so yeah, it's completely random.
Yeah, and I just said, hey, Showstopper, pick a number between 1 and whatever. So.
And before we move on to the next thing, I do want to just emphasize the next round of the competition. We have advancing the NWF and Beyond-O. So it'll be the NWF versus Beyond-O. Then on the other side, we have...
That's going to be a dream matchup, by the way.
Creature Will and Chargrove as a draw in a three-way match against CAW. But
That's
only one will move on.
Legendary match.
Only one will move on. So this is going to be all about the scores. Only one will move on. There must be a winner. We're going to score this one like a 10-9 fight. And putting forward, this is going to be a winner, definite winner.
Couple of quick things. Can you tell us when the due date is and our theme?
Ooh, I thought you wanted to say about the theme.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We are doing... where are we doing? Which one did we decide on first? I
We're
can't
doing
remember.
the pick your poison, right? Like you're
Pick your
gonna
poison, okay.
choose your.
All right, ready?
Yep.
Resume. We are doing pick your poison, which means you will each give 2 characters to us, and we will randomly select a number for you, and then you will get whatever number is on there. And so you could get your own, you could get someone else's. So be careful, strategize wisely. Again, we will get 2, and I think Mad Reaper is looking up the due date.
I believe that 3 weeks from now is on the 22nd April.
Yes.
Earth
That
Day.
is, look that up for the gift of the god.
Day. So you guys can also audit that. I think I'm correct though. I have the calendar right in front of my face, so I hope I'm counting it right. But yeah, April 22nd. And so we will be reaching out to you, and by we, I mean the man that keeps the light on. Pat will be reaching out to you guys, getting some choices, and then we'll pop in and randomize, and we'll announce who everyone got. So we're gonna number you guys off. And randomize the numbers, and then we're going to randomize the name choices, and whichever ones correspond with that. We're going to ask you guys for 2 name choices, just as another reminder. 2 name choices, non-WWE, right? Or was it WWE, or what was the parameters?
Just anything. Why not?
Anything.
Throw it out there.
2 wrestlers.
Knockout,
whatever you want your opponents to do.
Fight. And also, I'll be reaching out to everyone who did not advance about Wednesday or Thursday for the gift of the gods. So think of a tag team that you would like to do and get back to me, or I'll get to you.
If you wish to enter. If you wish to enter.
You have to enter.
Okay, just a clarification. For pick your poison, you're going to pick 2 options that you'd like your opponent to make, right?
Opponent, or you could end up being yourself, because it'll be all random. You'll get a number, so...
Okay. All right. Cool.
So
I mean, I would hope, though, we should figure out a way to where nobody would be making their own, but how could we do that?
I think it'd be cool if they end up with their own, because what if they threw dirt on somebody and thought,
yeah,
I'll do this, and it's really horrible, and they'll have to do that, and then they end up with... It's just
That's also
another strategy level.
That's true.
Well, I guess we'll figure it out.
I mean, the other thing is, too, what we could do is have assign 2 numbers to each person, and then that way, like, you may be number 1 and 11, and if 11 was one of your picks, then you have to choose 1, but it might increase the odds that if you do get someone, you at least have an alternative to switch out of.
Okay.
It doesn't matter to me.
Done. Do it. Boom.
We'll ask the guys. We'll ask the guys, how do you guys want us to select this? This is how we're going to do it, but we want you guys to give challenging-ass names, whether you want someone else to do it or whether you want to do it.
Also, very curious question. Some people on our Instagram story said they were not excited about the gift of the gods. So if for some reason you voted that way because you're completely insane, no, seriously though, contact us. Tell us why you're not. Maybe we can come up with something to spice it up, or, we just like feedback. So tell us why you voted that way, and thank you for everyone who voted yes. We appreciate your support.
I was tossing around inside my head a little concept that might be cool is that while we're doing those customs and everyone's working on them, while you guys are doing work in progress pictures, it'd be cool to even show like a little daily update or a weekly update, you know what I mean? Like, hey, this is what I've done this week, you guys, and we could always plug it into the show. I can share it on my screen. I mean, and if you guys want to do that, I think that would be awesome. We're willing to give you guys that platform. I think a lot of people could learn from it, and it'd really make the customs more engaging. So maybe we start sharing the take teams and giving little teasers, but yeah. Something we'll have to iron out going forward, but we're working on it.
Be a great idea. And again, I can't say this enough. Whether it's the gift of the gods, whether it's the Reaper Cup, take work in progress pictures, because that can only make us appreciate your work that much more. To see in the first round Nick's custom, that's one thing. See all the work that he put into sculpting and everything, that takes it to the next level. So send work in progress pictures of whether you're in the Quest for Reaper Cup or Gift of the Gods. But I would love to feature work in progress pictures for the Gift of the Gods, because that can only get us engaged. Late breaking news, because this episode's probably long already. Custom Underground will be producing a wrestling document. It will read Custom Underground Presents, along with Peter
Nice.
Ferrero. And the first guest we can't announce, but it'll be basically Tales from the Road. And I will say it's an NWO member, so that's a wide variety. It could be Horace Hogan or Hulk Hogan. You never know. But no, it's a really good guest. Can't announce it, though. But we will be producing that. I think it's just another way to get our name out there. It's going to be quite amazing. Thank you, Peter, for the opportunity. And unless anybody else has anything to say, it's been my pleasure. It's been Showstopper's pleasure. It's been Matt Reaper's pleasure. Thank you for all you do, fans. Thank you for Tessence for believing in us. We will see you next week.
Yeah, and then you guys, just one final word. Thank you for joining this contest. We appreciate the effort you guys go into that. I know we all echoed those sentiments earlier, but I mean, without you guys, this is nothing, and you guys inspire us just as much. And believe that, like Nick from the first round inspired me a lot, showed me a lot of albums, and you guys, thank you. Thank everyone. Thanks Manoa Figs for putting this up. See you guys next episode. So.
And CAW with his mask. It makes you think of little things that you could do to make your own figures better. Thank you very much. Peace.
Boom.